This meeting is being recorded.
There we go. All right, thank you, Garrett, for joining me. I just wanted to ask first off, what exactly do you do, and what company are you in? And yeah, just the basics.
Yeah, so to start off, I am a business development associate at a company called ISN Software Corporation. And what ISN is, it's kind of like the way I like to explain it to people that don't really know, because it is kind of complex, is it's kind of like a LinkedIn for contractors. So let's say I'm one of our hiring clients, Disney, right? And I'm looking to build a hotel around California Adventure, right? I'm going to need contractors to go on site and perform work to build that actual hotel. So what we do is we ensure that those contractors coming on site are meet the safety standards, the health and safety standards of Disney. And so we do that with the pre-qualification process, as well as review any documents such as insurance, OSHA logs, written programs. And yes, we basically ensure that contractors are safe and compliant with the client standards.
Okay, that's perfect. As I can see on your shirt, you went to Baylor. If you were a college student again, what would you do differently to prepare for this job?
100%. I think something that I would do differently would be more of an emphasis on my communication skills.
Right,
So what I'm doing all day long is talking to contractors and clients as well as my coworkers. And one thing, the biggest adjustment from college to the real world, I think, is communicating. And that's come with communicating to my supervisor, communicating with clients and contractors as well. And once you get that down, it makes the job honestly 10 times easier just because
right, yeah,
you're more understanding of both ends, as well as you have people in your corner willing to work with you if you communicate, versus if you don't, people aren't going to understand what you're doing, what you need help with. Yeah, so I think just communicating effectively and learning those skills in college would have
yeah.
helped me out a little bit more with the
No, for
adjustment.
sure, for sure. When you went into college, were you were you decided or undecided going in? Were you declared on business or
Yeah, so I think I was declared business, but it was very broad. I didn't know exactly what within business I wanted to major in. I think I went in and I was, just kind of the basic finance. Most guys say finance. And so I wanted to do that. And then I was supply chain and marketing. So I didn't do anything with finance.
right?
And then did supply chain marketing. I was like, nope, I don't want to do supply chain. So I did MIS, which is Management Information Systems. That's kind of how I landed the job at this software company. Because with MIS, you're able to do coding, system development, app development, all those things. So that kind of taught me a lot about the software end of business. So.
Right. You said that's how you found that job. So you get like an internship throughout
Yes,
Baylor?
yes. So my what was it? Junior year, it was beginning of the first semester. We have the career fair like every college does, and that's another thing with college is utilizing the career fair is huge. And so I went up, I saw the table, no one was standing around. It's near the end of the night, and so I just went up to them and said, "Hey, my name's Garrett Olsker." They're super friendly, super receptive. Gave them my resume. We talked a little bit, just small talk.
Right.
And then I shot them an email after just saying thanks for your time. And then I was able to schedule an interview, and I landed the internship, which was huge going into my senior year. And then I got the job offer. What was it, September? I think it was early September. So I went my entire senior year having a job. So that
Right.
was super nice.
Yeah, no, that's really nice. Would you say like a big part of that though is like getting outside of your comfort box? Because I feel like a lot of people nowadays, like they won't, like we were saying about like going to the college fair or whatever, like
Mhm.
that's like a pretty big thing. And like, do you
Yeah.
think that's like a big way to get internships is through getting out there and just like meeting other people?
I think that's the only way to get internships, honestly. So the internship process is super, I guess, difficult for companies because there's so many people. The ISN, they went to Baylor, but they also went to 15, 20 other schools. So it's
Right.
basically doing what you can to stick out so they remember you. So,
Yeah.
that comes with being like making yourself outside of your comfort zone because let's say if I didn't walk up to that table, I wouldn't have a job. When I saw the table, I was like in mental conflict. Should I go up to the table? Do I need it? Is it worth it? I'll probably get this job, this interview, this internship. But ultimately it just led like the first step, honestly, just showing up. And that's just showing up to the table, talking, and
Right.
then, the rest goes from there.
No, for sure. what like moving on to now, like where you are nowadays, with working for the company, for how long have you been working there now?
Yeah, it's been 5 months. Yeah, 5 months.
Yeah. Just like based off of your experiences so far, what do you like about working for the company? Like, what do they offer more than other companies, and like what
Yeah.
drives you to keep on going back? And like, yeah,
100%. Yeah, the biggest thing that this company offers that a lot of companies don't is, I guess, they actually care about their employees, and that's something you're going to hear a lot throughout the interview process for internships and jobs. Is their big call to fame is like, we care for our employees, we love our employees by doing this and this. But ISN, we just got ranked, I think, 30th
oh
in
wow,
Dallas for customer or for employee workplace. So that's for large companies of over 500 employees. So we
right,
get ranked 30th out of there's over 700 companies or something like that.
yeah,
So that was huge. I mean, the benefits I get are great. That's huge. The compensation I get for my work is awesome. But yeah, that's the biggest thing is like the way they treat me. They actually make me feel like, they care versus a lot of these bigger companies, which I did have job offers and interviews with, is they like to say they care about their employees, but then you look into it more and it's just like, it's just a big company feel where,
right,
you're just another pawn for their chess match.
yeah,
Versus like this, it feels like I'm actually a key piece and they need me versus they just, I'm indisposable or I am
yeah.
disposable. Just throw me away and
No,
hire someone else.
that's really cool.
Hmm.
For with that company, when they are choosing like who to hire, like what are they looking for when they're hiring someone? Like who are they? What like statistics? What things are they looking for on their resume?
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're looking for. So they hire so many people from so many different backgrounds.
Yeah,
I work with other MIS majors. I work with majors. I work with marketing. There's this one girl. I think she was neuroscience or something like that. It was crazy, and she worked with me. And they honestly, the number one thing they look for is how well you work with people, because that's something every single company needs. But this company is all about communication, like I was saying. So they care a lot about how well you're able to command a room during your interview. That was
right.
something that they're high on. And they also just they see their potential employees and they have this map of kind of who's going to be working with who and who's going to be working best with who. So yeah, I say the biggest thing that they looked for outside of the resume, because of course you needed good grades, you needed to be competitive in that end.
Yeah,
They just cared about how well you, like I said before, communicate with the interviewers, with the company, how well personable you are,
right.
trainable, all those things. So
No, that's really cool.
yeah,
In what ways is your industry changing?
yeah. So this
So not,
industry is one, I guess it's super, I guess, I don't even know how to describe it. Super precise. It's very small. I guess
yeah,
you could say the whole software industry itself is changing honestly every single day.
yeah,
It's just listening to customers and clients and basically what you can improve. And it's just constant improvements every single day.
yeah,
I know we just launched our mobile app called Empower, I think about 11 months ago, coming
yeah,
up on, I'm pretty sure. And that was something that was huge for us. But yeah, I think it's honestly just listening to client and customer demands and, molding
yeah,
your business around that because that's how you make the money, you
yeah.
know?
So like being in this like organization and being in this business over the past 5 months, how have you changed? Like, so the company's been changing from day to day, but how is you as like a person, like just being in this workspace with these people, how has it changed you and what have you learned just being in the company?
Yeah. Oh man, something that's changed with me, I think it's more discipline because in college, you wake up at 8, you could skip a class if you're not feeling well, or like, oh, I got a like 7 out of 10 on this homework assignment. I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
Versus this, it's like you're getting graded on everything, your
yeah,
project, your supervisor's always watching, and you got to do your absolute best literally every single second you step in,
right.
or else they're going to notice. So that's the biggest thing that I've learned. And I mean, so far, like takeaways from the job, it's just so important. Like I said, being able to be coachable and be able to be a sponge. I know you'll hear that a lot is I'm a sponge, be a sponge. And that just comes, you learn so much within 5 months. Like the fact that, it's been 5 months is crazy, but it's flown by. But I've learned so much these 5 months more
Yeah,
than honestly years of school just because of, I guess, getting thrown into the fire in these situations where it's like you got to learn, you got to adapt, this is on you versus, it's like, oh, it's on someone else. It's a team project. We can do it
Yeah,
later. This is straight in the fire, but it's
yeah.
been great. It's a
No,
great
it's
adjustment.
that's cool. Well, I know it changes from like school to school based off of colleges.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering just like what was for you the most crucial year in college? Like just like the most that you remember being like you really got to anchor down and like grind away at your homework. Like I'm just curious in your opinion at Baylor, like what was a year that you thought was the most important and taught you the most and like what did that all entail? What classes did
Yeah.
you take? Things like that.
Yeah, I mean, of course, in the moment, I would probably say junior year, like during my junior year,
Yeah.
because that's when that like your grades are being looked at. That's when you're getting those interviews for those internships. But honestly, I think freshman year is the biggest year, just because that kind of sets the tone
Yeah.
for how your entire college experience is going to be. If you're going to be the guy that's going out partying on a Wednesday night and you have a test the next day, freshman year, you're going to be doing the same thing throughout all of college. So
Yeah.
I think it's more kind of realizing that freshman year sets the tone for absolutely everything because the jump from high school to college is insane.
Yeah.
Uh,
Right.
and so I think if you utilize your freshman year and all the resources you have and realize the significance of it, I think that's easily the most important year
Yeah.
for you as in your development for sure.
No, yeah, I could totally see that. And then I just have a few more questions, but
Yeah,
this is more on a personal level.
absolutely.
What should I consider doing that I haven't really thought of? I mean, there's a lot of like the basic things in college that you can do, like what you're
Mhm.
saying, like the fairs. Was there something that you maybe did that like made you stand out, like in specific, like specifically to you? And like, yeah, just like what was that? If there was anything that you did that's
Yeah.
outside the box that you would give advice to me to do in the future.
Yeah, I think there's honestly two things. So one is get involved, and that comes with joining clubs. I guess learning from other people that something that you want to grow in. Getting involved, like I said, with those clubs on campus, other students that have similar interests, and I think the next is honestly getting extra help as much as you can, and just learning from that like going to those SI sessions late night in those study sessions and getting a tutor because the more you're able to hunker down on those little topics, I guess not little, but not job related topics, more school is that'll help set your mind and set your I guess your course for graduation and going into the real work life world. So I'd say just getting involved and utilizing your resources are honestly the two biggest things that I think any kid that's in college can use to be successful.
Right. Very cool. Very cool. And the last question I have, and this can be very broad, just like, is there
Yeah.
any last advice that you have for me or for, yeah, just like for me in the future?
Yeah, I think it's, you're going to get thrown different obstacles all throughout college as well as in life. And the biggest thing is how you respond to those. I know it's super easy to get caught up, let's say, if you have a bad test or, you don't do well on a project, but it's super important to see how you respond to those because, like I said, in work, and I've had projects already where I haven't done the best on and I get
Yeah.
called out on it. And it's basically not making the same mistake twice is the biggest
Right.
thing I think that you can take away from, I
Yeah.
guess, this interview, but also just kind of all throughout college. So, yeah,
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate it. It was great being able to talk.
yeah,
Thank you for taking like your time out of your day. I know that probably wasn't easy, but I really appreciate it.
yeah. No, 100%. Thank you so much for having me. I
All right. Thank
appreciate
you,
it.
Garrett. I appreciate it.